So I just got done watching the Lakers Pelicans game, and I will say I did kind of go in and out of paying attention in the first half. Um, it was kind of a weird game to start off with. I mean, the Lakers went on to like an early run, and I thought the Pelicans were looking like pretty bad to start, but then they started like string things together, and I thought it was just gonna like end up being a snowball effect. But a lot of things went on to change the pace of things. Of course, as the title suggests, Matt Ryan came in and absolutely delivered. I mean, his shooting numbers weren't wonderful, but he hit a buzzer beater in the fourth quarter off of like it was literally the same play the Warriors ran the other night. Maybe like the screens were just a little bit different, but they had the side out of bounds inbounder trying to lob it all the way across the court to the opposite corner. And when the Warriors did it, Jordan Poole just threw it like 6 miles over Stephen Curry's head. But Austin Reeves was able to pass it over everybody to a 6'7" Doordash driver, and that guy knocked down like the craziest fadeaway three. It was pretty incredible, and it was funny to watch this like dude that barely made the roster like celebrating afterwards, like not even like dapping up his team or anything. Like he was just mean mugging everybody, like dapping up the crowd and stuff. It was pretty hilarious. It was good to see though. And like other than kind of some of these bench guys, I mean Westbrook had a really good game. He had 6 turnovers, which is pretty ugly, but he was doing Westbrook things, like original Westbrook things, like going to the rim and just pushing the pace when he gets like a defensive rebound, like just dialed up to as fast as you can go, you know? And he was going down there and like either finishing or dishing to someone. He made a really good lob to Anthony Davis at one point. And like you see those flashes of Westbrook where you're like, wow, like Westbrook's still really good. Or like back in the day when he would do this, it's like, wow, like this guy is incredible and like could continue to do stuff like this for a long time. But it's weird because there's like this twofold issue with him of just like decision making, and I think everyone kind of knows that at this point. Where I think he gets either I don't know if it's like in his own head where he like just thinks he's just a way better passer than he is. Like he's a really smart one when it comes to like where to put the ball in certain situations, but like there's times where I think he does like the same thing kind of Draymond does where he's trying to just like force it. Like he sees that there's a potential opening there and then he just kind of throws it. But I mean, can't nitpick Westbrook too bad. Like especially playing 25 minutes. I mean, he did more than any six man in the league pretty much will at this point, unless your name is Jordan Clarkson. Other than he's not playing off the bench this year for obvious reasons. But anyways, and Lonnie Walker played incredible. He kind of, I mean, his numbers look way better than I thought. It seemed like every time I was paying attention in the earlier parts of things, like he was just kind of missing. But Lonnie is showing a lot of things, I think, like decision making wise on when to like go up and try to finish something. It seems like he's quite a bit like proficient there. There's a moment where he had a fast break and little Jose Alvarado was guarding him and he just rose up and dunked it over him. And it's like, well, why don't we see this more often out of like most players when there's a small guy there? Like I see a lot of times, I mean, an example here is when Gabriel, I mean, there was a time where he could have just risen up and dunked it on someone and he goes to try to make the extra pass and just like threw it out of bounds over the guy's head. I think that's just coming from like this 3-point era a little bit. But anyways, we're getting off the rails. LeBron didn't play great. I guess he was sick. I don't think I caught on the broadcast like why he was sick or what was going on. But I mean, for anybody that's not LeBron, these are great numbers. But he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn on a 3-pointer. And it was kind of good to see Larry Nance Jr. was guarding him on one possession, and Larry Nance just was clamping LeBron up like the whole time. I think it's just because like LeBron doesn't take those straight line drives to try to just like beat someone as often as he used to. Like pretty much every time LeBron was isoing towards the end of the game, he was either looking to like fake like he was going to drive, fake his like step back three that he's been shooting a lot, or just kind of back you down, and then at that point either shoot the fader, or he will just like go back over his own left shoulder towards the middle of the paint and try to finish there, which he did a couple times and it looked good. But on the perimeter, Larry Nance was guarding him really well. Anthony Davis had a couple scary falls, which, I mean, that is Anthony Davis for you, just always on the ground, but played amazing. Really good defense. It was interesting to see, actually, Zion, when he was guarded by Wenyen Gabriel, pretty much Wenyen clamped him like the whole time, and he was like distance managing really well with Zion, which is like one of those like really difficult things to do when you've got this like crazy explosive athlete that is built like a tank and can just put his shoulder into you and just finish. For the most part, I mean, Wenyen was just not letting him go by him, not letting him spin to the hand that he wanted to get to. And then, I mean, there was one time where he gets beat, but I mean, nobody's going to guard someone as good as Zion 24/7 and make it impossible for them to score, obviously. But I think he looked pretty good for the most part. Again, back to Zion. I mean, Zion looked really good, actually. I mean, until that fourth quarter, I wanted to make a video talking about how good Zion was and kind of just like how he is. Again, it always is the health, and I hate that it has to go there, but Zion healthy is like an elite superstar at this point. I don't know where I would like classify him, like what tier, or like which players would be around him, like if it was a top 30 or something, you know, but he's up there at this point. And Jonas does so many good things to this team. I didn't see if he got hurt or anything. I don't know why he didn't play much of that second half. But anyways, I mean, he's just crazy good rebounder. I mean, he's so strong and he stretches the floor so well too. I mean, he's always a threat to shoot a three, even though he doesn't do it all that often. But I thought he looked good. CJ had a couple kind of questionable moments where he was just like getting to the rim, but then just blowing wide open layups, or just taking really, really hard contested layups. I mean, he shot 27 times, but his three-pointers weren't really going down. Mid-range was always looking good, like always. And it is cool to see this like new version of CJ where he's more of a distributor. But and I mean, he racked up 8 assists, only turned the ball over once. I mean, it looks good with him at like the helm of everything, having Zion come set screens, Jonas set screens, Larry Nance or Jackson Hayes setting screens, because he's always such a threat to just pull it from three, pull it from mid, do that little crab dribble where he gets them on their back and then dishes it down low. And especially with guys like Zion and Larry Nance cutting to the rim, it makes it difficult for teams to guard it. Yeah, I mean, the rest of these bench guys for the Pelicans played pretty good. I mean, Larry Nance, like I had said earlier, played really well. Defensively, he looked great. He was still able to like catch lobs over Anthony Davis, which is pretty crazy. Devontae Graham, I didn't see him on the court too much, but he had like a really big bucket right towards the end where he pump faked a guy past him on the three-point line, took one dribble in, shot a mid-ranger, made it. Looked good. I mean, this is definitely a huge win for the Lakers. They have looked like complete dog shit all season so far. But the issue of three-point shooting continues to stand. They won from the three-point line tonight, as far as actually makes and not percentage, but the makes added up, and it really tipped them over the top. I mean, Lonnie was hitting big shots towards the end, and it's just a matter of if he can hit 3 or 4 in a game, if he can hit a couple, and then if LeBron can hit a couple, if those guys can all kind of knock in a couple and make about 10 a game, maybe not shoot as many then they'll be all right. It's weird because I couldn't even tell you what the league average on makes is right now. I bet it's more like 15 or like 16. So they're going to lose by like 18 a game if these numbers are even close, but just from the three-point line. But I think that's not as big of a deal with a team like this because they've got so many good, just elite like scorers at the rim. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Just like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and we'll be back with more next time that I see an interesting game. So see ya.